if you were born in the 90s and attended kindergarten in a moderate 90s school, then it is highly probable that AEOI is something that is very familiar for you, because that's how most of us got introduced to the alphabet. However, people like the guys living in Poland and some of those Eastern European countries might not be very familiar with, those 5 vowels. Now, there's a set of 4 vowels that should be of very high interest to you, especially if you're a taxpayer. And these are A, E, O, I. We do have Mary in the house this morning to make sense of those 4 vowels. And I won't waste a minute to introduce her so that she's able to take us on this tour of understanding what those 4 vowels mean. Good morning. You are live on the Learn Tax Uganda podcast, and this is episode 5. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Solomon.
We are glad to have you on the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here as well.
But for purposes of the audience appreciating who you are, you could tell us just something really small about yourself and what you do here at the Uganda Revenue Authority.
Okay. My name is Mary Nalova. I work with the Tax Investigations Department in the Uganda Revenue Authority. And my role, I supervise CRS compliance and stakeholder engagements. What this means is I'm in charge of ensuring that all financial institutions do file AEOI returns to the perfection as per the standard, as per the international requirement. And then most importantly, I train all stakeholders, including financial institutions and account holders, on what automatic exchange of information is and what is required from them. Thank you.
I heard you say something in the space of CRS compliance. Piqued my interest a little bit. What is that exactly?
Okay, so when I mention CRS, I mean the Common Reporting Standard. Okay. This is the standard on which automatic exchange of information is based. When I talk about automatic exchange of information, the history stems way back from 2012 when Uganda joined the Global Forum on Tax Transparency. Now, this is an international organization that actually monitors the implementation of tax transparency standards. One, exchange of information on request, and then automatic exchange of information. So what happens in 2012, Uganda joined the Global Forum. And this was in an effort to fight illicit financial flows, to fight tax evasion, and to actually improve transparency in the tax administration. Transparency to know what actually happens with the taxpayers of Uganda in other jurisdictions. As you might know, people can move income and assets anywhere in the world, but Uganda is limited by its domestic laws. It can't apply domestic laws elsewhere. So the only alternative we have is to use the tax transparency standards. And that's why it joined and signed onto the Multilateral Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance in Tax Matters. This has over 157 jurisdictions that come together to sign and say, let us end illicit financial flows, let us end the era where people hid money offshore and there was no visibility at all. So all these countries come together to sign these international tax transparency standards. And initially, Uganda was implementing exchange of information on request. What this means is tax administrations, like say Uganda Revenue Authority and Kenya Revenue Authority, can request each other for information on any taxpayer. We can request bank statements, we can request the addresses, we can request accounting information, we can request ownership information, but on a request basis. Give me, I give you. But now what automatic exchange of information means is I do not have to request. Rather, every 1st September 2025, every tax administration, as long as you've signed onto this agreement, you have to exchange information automatically. You exchange financial account information of taxpayers of the other jurisdiction. And I'll talk about tax residency later on, but you only exchange information of tax residents of the other jurisdiction. So in brief, that is it about automatic exchange of information. And Uganda signed onto this in 2023. And there is an act, that is the Mutual Administrative Assistance in Tax Matters Implementation Act. It gives a legal basis for us to actually go on and implement the automatic exchange of information.
Now, I wanted to ask a follow-up question,
Yes.
but you pretty much answered it. But for purposes of clarity, really, AEOI,
Yes.
what is that?
Thank you so much. And I want to explain it further and give it its own section. Now, when you talk about automatic exchange of information, like the way automatic. So first, we have the automatic transmission. But then before the automatic, we have collection of financial account data. This financial account data includes identification information, who you are. Is it Solomon Shimbogwe? Is it Mary Nalova? What account number do you hold in a financial institution? And then what kind of payment? Is it dividends, royalties, interest? So all this is termed as financial account information, but this is on only non-tax residents of Uganda. Let me speak to Uganda's case. When we talk about automatic exchange of information, the financial institutions, and these include banks, all depository institutions, custodial institutions, specified insurance companies. Specified insurance companies mean only life insurance companies. We do not want general life insurance companies, but only life insurance companies. And then we have investment entities. So all these institutions collect financial account data on only non-tax residents and transmit them to URA, the tax authority, and likewise, URA will transmit this information to different tax administrations where these people are tax resident. Now, because Uganda implements this standard on a reciprocal basis, likewise, Uganda receives information from all tax jurisdictions on its tax residents. So we send information on non-tax residents and we receive information on our tax residents. So this information, and just to make it clear, Solomon, this is not like a new law to require that people come forward and tell us their financial assets or income, but rather in the law, in section 17 of the Income Tax Act, it requires all Ugandan tax residents to declare their worldwide income. But because we couldn't enforce it using domestic laws to be implemented elsewhere, say in Mauritius, UK, France, we can't really take our domestic laws to be enforced that side. We have to use this international agreement to help us enforce that section 17 of the Income Tax Act, requiring all Ugandan tax residents to declare their worldwide income. So this is not really a new thing, but we are just we just want equity in taxation so that everyone pays what is due. Yes.
Fair enough. You talked about residents, and I'm going to request you to dig just a little deeper into that so that the viewers are able to appreciate exactly what we are talking about. But for context, I heard you say something to the effect that Uganda avails information to the countries that are under this arrangement on the non-tax residents of Uganda. Then on the other side, the other countries also avail information on their non-tax residents.
Yes.
Whereby Uganda then gets to benefit.
Exactly.
Give it to the people in a language that they can understand.
Thank you, Solomon. In simple terms, one, let me just clarify this. Automatic exchange of information is not based on citizenship. No, it's rather on residence, where someone is resident. I might be a Ugandan citizen, but I'm not a tax resident in Uganda. So automatic exchange just wants your residence. I might be in the UK, I'm a Ugandan citizen, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm tax resident in Uganda. I am tax resident in the UK, however much I'm a citizen of Uganda. Now, each country has its own definition of tax resident in its domestic laws. For Uganda's case, we have that definition from section 9, I think, that defines who an individual resident is: company resident, trust, or partnership. And then for an individual, of course, it talks about the permanent establishment, and then the 183 days spent in Uganda, and then the other step.
Within a year?
Yes, within a year. So now for other jurisdictions, they also have their domestic laws to define who a tax resident is. And that's why this is quite important to an account holder. In case you are not sure of your tax residence, you can get in touch with tax advisors to actually advise you and calculate for you and determine or establish your tax residence. So what we mean by tax residence, the financial institutions go through your KYC. We call it know your client details. And it's not a new thing. This has been happening with the Anti-Money Laundering, AML Act, where financial institutions follow the same. So at account opening, you tell the bank or the investment entity your details. I am so and so. My date of birth is this. This is my account number. This is my address. So what automatic exchange of information requires is for you to tell them where you're tax resident. And because the automatic exchange is based on residence, you tell them your address. Where is your address located? Where are you tax resident? What is your TIN? And this information helps URA to transmit the accurate information of you, the account holder, to the other jurisdiction where you're tax resident. Yes.
In other words, the exchange starts to make sense because then Uganda gets information from all those other countries. I don't know how many there are.
125 countries.
About the people who are resident to Uganda by way of tax.
Yes.
And then the same also happens for the other countries. So there's a bit of mutual benefit here.
Exactly.
Bafunamu, nafe tufunamu.
Yes.
Now, what does this mean for people with offshore interests? What does this mean for them?
And now for people who hold accounts or offshore accounts or income or assets or immovable property in other jurisdictions other than your jurisdiction of tax residence, let me speak about Uganda. So in case you hold these assets or income offshore, now one, URA is giving you an opportunity. We are not going to go straight into penalizing because it's not quite a friendly environment, and we do value the relationship with our taxpayers. Without you, we do not exist. So since this is a new requirement that URA has started to receive this information by way of it signing to this international agreement. Yes, however much it's in the law, you're required to declare your worldwide income, but we're not going to penalize you first for not doing that. We're giving you an opportunity to come forward and disclose and tell us your offshore accounts, your offshore assets, your offshore income. And in the benefits, there is a waiver of penalties, there is a waiver of interest, and also, most importantly, there is an arrangement for you to pay in installments, because we know you might get this money and invest it elsewhere. So we are quite understanding with the taxpayers. Come forward and disclose. This is an opportunity that we give to all our taxpayers because we have the information. That is a fact. On 1st September 2025, URA started to receive this information from all these 125 jurisdictions on our tax residents. So it's upon URA to utilize this information and know which people have actually declared their offshore income or assets. But before we go into audits and investigations, we want to give our taxpayers a chance. Come forward and tell us you have this information, and then you'll benefit. And moving forward, you will regularize your tax affairs.
So let's suppose I'm a Mgaga and I have, say, accounts in Netherlands, and I'm doing well, money is coming in, I have interests there, and I've not been disclosing when I'm filing my tax returns in Uganda, not been declaring that. Are you telling me that today URA is in a position where they're able to see that information about my earnings from the Netherlands?
Exactly. So actually, you're right on point. That's the whole purpose of automatic exchange of information. And maybe just to highlight, automatic exchange of information is to give us that hidden income of someone. Now, because the tax administration can have visibility of salaries, of these other active incomes, but there is that passive income that is actually unknown or that is rarely declared, where we have interest, where we have dividends, where we have royalties, and so many other types of incomes. So that's when automatic exchange comes in handy to actually give us access to that information. That however much you're so and so, we have information about you. We've received that information from all the countries. So it's better you come forward and actually put your tax returns right. And under section 25(3) of the TPCA, it gives you liberty to go and amend tax returns for a period of 3 years backwards. So in case you missed out these incomes, in case you missed out the declaration, please come forward, amend your tax returns, and then voluntarily declare or disclose. We have the URA website, and we have an icon called Exchange of Information right there. It has information on automatic exchange of information. It has all the forms for voluntary disclosure. And on the form, you'll actually see the process of how you can submit your voluntary disclosure. But in any case, we are here to support URA's official office lines or emails. We are here to support.
Mary, let's suppose, I've realized that you guys have me. And I want to grab the voluntary disclosure opportunity, and I've gone ahead to grab it. I've utilized it. I filled up the form. What else do I need to do to make sure that I'm on the safe side?
Okay. One, you need to amend your tax returns for the past 3 years, and you include the foreign income or foreign assets declaration. So after that, you pay the principal tax. You don't pay the penalty, you don't pay the interest, because that is the benefit of voluntarily disclosing. So you just pay the principal tax, and then you hand in your documents.
The principal tax of that which I have declared as
exactly. Yes, only the principal tax. So you hand in your papers, you go to Touchpoint, so the URA website, you log in into Touchpoint, and you submit your documents through under the voluntary disclosure window. We shall receive them, review them, and get back to you.
Perfect. There's also this general thinking, grapevine can be interesting, that this thing is targeting Bankoba Cheyo. Is that true? What can you speak to that?
No, I don't think it's targeting Bankoba Cheyo. Like I said earlier, this is about residence, not citizenship. So you might be a citizen in Uganda, but you're tax resident in the UAE. We don't actually have any business with you. You're tax resident the other side. So we are not actually targeting you. You pay your taxes the other side, and UAE knows you as their tax resident. So for Uganda's case, we shall not even receive information on you, because UAE has you in their reports that you're tax resident.
You are basically UAE business.
Yes, your UAE business. What they will transmit to us are people who are tax resident this side, and that's why it's quite important at account opening for someone to accurately declare their tax residence. You indicate your address, and in case of change of circumstance, you also go back and notify your institution, be it an investment entity or bank or custodial or life insurance company. You notify them that my address has actually changed. I'm no longer tax resident here, I'm tax resident
there.
Yes, exactly.
I get that. Mary, is there any other thing that you would like to leave with the viewers? The Bagaga.
Well, just to let you know that we're here to support you, and we're giving you an opportunity to come forward before actually audits and investigations commence. We have the data, we know the income you received, we know your assets, we know all the payments that you're receiving. But before we actually dive into audits and investigations, we are a Uganda Revenue Service. We want to bring this service to you until you come forward and disclose. We are in a partnership, you're our clients. Without you, we cannot exist. So come, we work together before we actually go into audits and investigations. And you know that whole journey of audits and investigations, it's quite cumbersome. It also involves prosecution, and you know the laws in case you didn't declare this information, in case you gave us wrong information, all that is into the TPCA, and it's actually criminal. So come forward, regularize your tax affairs, and you'll be in good terms with the URA going forward.
Awesome, Mary, it's been an honor hosting you on the show.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to having you a little bit more so that you're able to, give information pertaining to tax investigation.
Thank you so much.
To the viewers that we do have on the show. Otherwise, from all of us at the Uganda Revenue Authority, to you and wherever it is that you've been watching from, adios.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.